Lord have mercy. That just doesn't look good at all there. And there are magnets in there too. It's pulling against this. Yes, indeed. And this thing's got brushes back up in there. So that's that part. Yeah, that's just nasty. So I'm willing to say that's going to come off. Wow, look at that. Okay, it still ran though. It's had water in it. And those are the magnets right there. Yeah, okay. So you can see the poles on them. Yes, indeed. Okay. So there's your poles. And here's your armature. That's your commutator, which it doesn't look bad. Doesn't look bad at all. And that's the brushes. And there's still a good bit of brush left in there. Stainless steel spring, because they anticipated water getting in there. This one's not moving very good, but man could take this apart, and you had a lot of oxidization there. I got right there, that's aluminum oxide. I think no way nothing. This is heavy. That's, you see the steel actually dampening the magnet. And you don't see nothing out here at all. And that's what it was doing. And right between the two poles, and then you get it in here, yeah, it's going to leave a hell of a mark right there. But then it's going to show you where the poles are actually at. So this was destined for the dumpster, but I wanted to look into it to actually prove a point that, and there is also some circuitry in there. There has to be. And what are those right there? Are they the same size? I wish they're probably the same size as that was. And this thing could be cleaned up and oiled up, and somebody could put it on their kayak quite easily. It'd just be damned heavy. Silicone the halves in and clean everything up, and you'll have a better chance, because these are O-ringed right here and right there, I'm sure. Those actually look like titanium. Boy, they're awful light. I wonder, nope, not titanium. They had the right color though. I said, damn. I'd say, how much did this thing cost? So I'm gonna push the wires on in here and try to get this out. Wow. Now I'm wondering what's up under there, because that's got to be some kind of yeah. That's actually potted right there. And this is to the extent of what they go through. Yeah, that's potted right there. This is to the extent of what they go through because they know it's going to get water in it. There's no doubt in their mind. And eventually it probably would have failed. You got both these wires going down here. Now, that's the circuitry. And the only thing I know that those two wires do is slow it down. So there must be some kind of resistor in there or something that's doing that. Now it's not a bearing, that's just a bushing. So, and we got some more aluminum oxide, and that's where stuff like, and I know I had some. Aha. Corrosion stop, stuff like that. It's good for stuff like this. You spray it down, put it back together. You'll be amazed at the extra life you would get out of it using it. A lot of work went into all this. Never used it. Never had when I started picking up the weight and everything. So let's see what we got here as far as seal goes. And that is not wanting to come off of there. Probably because we got a little right there where that hole is. There's probably a little burr. Excuse me. There's probably a little burr. And okay, and that's just a bushing. All right, and that actually looks like a ceramic seal. And you know, I would hate to destroy this thing, I really would. But they knew it was going to get water in it. And here's, wow, you'd have to put another washer there. I suggest stainless steel, and I don't know why they didn't put one. This was actually a clip that held that right there, a circlip. And that's what just fell apart. And that's what held the thrust on this motor so it didn't go back and forth too deep, too far, or whatever. It stayed right in that particular location where they wanted it. So if you go right here, that clip would hold it right there so it couldn't go back and forth, or actually it couldn't go forward, and all the thrust pushing back on the motor was pushed on that right there, that circlip, or snap ring, or whatever. And like I said, corrosion stop's pretty good. You see how it's cleaned this up? And it's a good product. We've used it a lot on the RC boats, and Corrosion X is another good product, but it's designed to clean this stuff up. That's its job. That's what it does. And I don't have a paper towel nowhere in this damn place. That is sad. There we go. So products like this, Corrosion X, Corrosion Stop, all those, they're very good products. Man could have this thing looking brand new in no time. You know, and seeing as how that's potted, you could literally wash that out with water. But it was a shame. It was a lot of work for nothing, but it is what it is. Not everything you do works. Not everything you do, you want it to work. So, yeah, everything's still in there. I mean, it could be cleaned up and made to run good. I'll probably just wind up throwing it away. See, they even O-ring that. You could probably go with new O-rings on that. Some really good, and this is an O-ring here. New O-rings all the way around. Wouldn't be hard to do. Yeah, see, that one's flattened out, and that's actually not an O-ring, I don't believe. If it is, it's been pounded pretty good already. But the thing is just flipping heavy. And you'll need a big battery to pull it, because you're going to pull quite a few amps with that prop in the water. You wouldn't think you would, but you will. And this is the weedless edge. So, but yeah, it's a shame I never did anything with it. Probably won't do anything with it. Probably hit the trash can. But it's not going on my kayak. Those I'm building over there are going on my kayak. For the simple reason I use a little battery, I use little motors. They don't weigh anything. You guys, it's got the strength and the vitality and the you go for it. And I wish you all nothing but the best of luck. I'm going to do this because I am just plumb tuckered out at 60 years old. So I'm going to pull a kayak, 75-pound kayak and gear. I want it to be just, you know, not an additional 100 pounds or 150 pounds for trolling motor and trolling motor and battery. So I just wanted to let y'all know that I did think about going this route at one time, and I went, man, I think I did a pretty damn good job. But then I was still in my 50s, and I just didn't think, and it's South Louisiana, any place like Grand Isle or something like that, I am dragging this kayak a quarter mile. You know, if I lived right on the water or something like that, I'd definitely have this thing apart, Corrosion X, cleaned up, coated down, put back together, and the windings and everything look good on this. You know, I mean, you guys out there that's got trolling motors, and your trolling motor goes dead or it quits working, open it up. It might be just brushes. Because this doesn't look bad, and it has been, trust me when I tell you, it has been used. So yeah, I could spin the commutator on my lathe, clean it up with some really good 2500 or 3000 paper, have that thing looking like a mirror. So, but anyway, hit like and subscribe, hit that subscribe button down there, guys. Without y'all, I wouldn't be doing this. I appreciate each and every one of you. Don't think I don't. I appreciate the comments. That really gives me something to do, and I'm glad I get them from everybody, good or bad. There was some I was getting about how shitty my cameras were, and they are, but anyway, it's all I can afford. So, but yeah, don't stop commenting, please. Tell me how, if you do a trolling motor or something like that, tell me how it works. You know, tell me if it's what you thought it would be. If you do like something what I'm doing, tell me how it worked. Tell me what you got done. If you remember correctly in the video, I told you these were model rocket nose cones. You don't necessarily have to go aluminum. You could always go to your friend's house if you don't have a lathe or anything like that. You go to your friend's house that bought the lathe thinking that was he had to have one, and then realized he didn't have to have one. And y'all get together, y'all make one. Buy some carbon fiber tube. It's a lot stronger than aluminum and twice as light. The only reason I didn't do it is I had this. If I was to ever make another one, I'd do this with a carbon fiber tube. That's epoxy precipitated. Go back and watch the video when I did that. The trolling motors, not trolling motors, but the bilge pump motors work great. But just like this one, just like that one, and just like those, they get water in them. The only difference is you can go into this one, but you'll be able to go into this one. The bilge pump motors, you can't. That's the only thing I really didn't like about them. But I'll bet you can buy that seal and buy a set of brushes for this thing. Of course, the brushes don't look bad at all. They actually look quite good. And I kind of like how they did that too. They made it very heavy. Good job, Kevin. They're quite heavy. They're not completely carbon. There's actually some metal in there. They look like a brass almost. They feel like brass. Yeah, a little bit of corrosion stop on that and you would be done. You could call it a day on that. Like I said, that one's still in pretty good shape. Absolutely. Alright, I'm done. Y'all have a good day. Merry Christmas, everybody. And I hope you had a very good Christmas, and I hope you have a really good, happy, and prosperous new year. How'd y'all like that video? You can kind of see where the manufacturers say, well, it's going to leak. We already know that, so let's prepare for it. So that's pretty much what they do. They, you know, they don't use the carbon brushes. They use the good metal brushes, the good heavy contacts, stainless steel springs on the brushes and what have you. So they were kind of figuring it was going to leak. So nonetheless, we're not going to go into a whole bunch of detail on ours over there. The smaller motors, we're going to modify those seals, I believe. We're probably going to get some water in it, but we'll be able to take them apart and clean them out. Not like the trolling motor, not trolling motor, but the bilge pump motors. You can't take those apart. I did do a video of cutting one apart, and it was running. And you saw how bad it was if you looked at the video, and you said, I can't believe that was running. But it was running. But I had like 3 years of salt water and fresh water and everything else, so it's not too bad for what you pay for. But I'm thinking what you pay for these motors is not very much. You could change them pretty easily if they do get messed up. But I think if you spray them down with corrosion stop and stuff like that, take them out and do a little maintenance, not much, there'll be a lightweight alternative to a trolling motor or anything like that. And trust me, I wish I could afford a Torpedo or something like that. I can't do it. I try to get out as cheap as I can. But let's get back to the reason for this video. If you're the first to hit, send it to me. If you're the first on the comment list, send it to me, then you're number one. You got it. So I will need your address. There's two ways we could do this. I could give you my address in a personal message or the town I live in, and then whenever I get the box done, I'm going to take it to the post office, weigh it, get an estimate for them, or I can tell you what the box measures and what it weighs, and you can go to the post office box and get a shipping slip printed, mail it to me. I'll give you my address, mail it to me, I'll put it on the box, throw it in the mail. So, doesn't get any simpler than that. So, good luck. It'd be nice to have. If somebody does want it, I will polish up the commutator, clean it all up, recoat the armature. I am going to get rid of the two wires that go into the potted part on it, because I think that was a part of the trolling motor that I didn't get, and I kind of messed with it and everything, and it seems like it worked, but I think it might have worked with a rheostat or something like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut them out of there. I just have a straight black and white motor. Now you can put it on a double pole, double throw switch for forward, reverse. You can go pulse width modulation like the gentleman I've been talking back forth, what he's going to do on his trolling motor. You could do that, and it's very easily, they make units for that. Or you could just do a simple switch like I do, on, off, and if you look at the video on that where you just push the key down to pulse it, if you just want to go, and then you still could use that switch along with a double pole, double throw switch to make it where you could reverse it if you have to, hit reverse. I've never had the need for reverse because you've always got your paddles anyhow on a kayak. But I'm going to want you to put it on a kayak, make a video of it, and run it. I want to see how it's going to do. All right, that's pretty simple. I don't know what shipping's going to be, but good luck.